In a matter of days, millions in aid and relief supplies were collected and shipped from South Florida to the Bahamas. We'll talk to two of the leaders in that humanitarian effort when we come right back. From the halls of Tallahassee to the marinas of South Florida, tons of aid and millions of dollars flowed this week to stabilize those who lost everything in the storm-ravaged Bahamian Islands. What may be an unprecedented action in the face of disaster.
And today we are joined by two of the leaders from the public and private sectors who played big roles in these relief efforts. City of Miami Police Chief Zoe Zaralban, if I mispronounced that, correct me. He led his department's urban search and rescue team to some of the hard-hit areas in the Bahamas, working in tandem with the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Team. Michael Capone is a Miami Beach businessman, founder of Global Empowerment Mission. This week, he and his team staged a major relief effort by sea and air. Gentlemen, thanks for coming in.
So great to have you. And this sort of segment of public and private partnership, I think, is so great for people to see what is going on. Chief, let me start with you. Chief Joe, you and your men and women were among the first on the ground, not the day after, because there's some bureaucracy involved there, but time was such of the essence to you. Do you feel like you got there in time? Give us that sort of landing in the face of disaster and finding what you found.
Well, it is true, Glenna, that time is of the essence. The earlier you can get there, the more impact you can have. So, yes, we did have some challenges getting over there, but ultimately we got there in a reasonable period of time so that we could still assist the Bahamian people. And immediately upon arriving, we interfaced with their emergency operations center and then soon realized that out in the east end of the island of Grand Bahamas, nobody had been able to traverse it by foot as of yet. So that was our first charge, to get all the way to the east end of the island upon hitting the ground.
And Chief, give us your impressions. Here you are. I want to ask you, Michael, the same question, but you had a team of 15 with you from City of Miami. What did you see? What did you feel? What did it look like to be out there in this devastated, damaged area?
Well, our initial team was 10 that we embedded with Coast Guard cutters to give us reconnaissance. Right. And then we took two teams of 15, actually 30 people, City of Miami and Miami-Dade County Fire Rescue. As soon as we hit the ground, it was apparent that the level of devastation was unprecedented. The only thing that I could compare it to was our response to Haiti after the earthquake.
Michael, the Chief was talking about the places no one had been to. I know on your Instagram this morning, I saw so far you and all the good people you work with, 200,000 pounds of aid. We've been out to the ship that you were filling, one of them. And this week you went to those places where no one had been. Give us a sense of what that was like, what you did, and how that was received there.
Very shocked as soon as we got there.
Yeah.
Bahamas hadn't had any help yet in those.
Which islands were those? Where were you?
By Sweetings Cay and like along that strip and stuff.
So when they saw you, Michael, and the supplies
it was actually a
and
group that had just been there, I think the day before, and brought them a little bit of aid. But
But they must have been very grateful, to see you, areas that have no electricity, no fuel, very few medical supplies, and you brought all of that.
Yeah, so we had this former Coast Guard cutter ship that was basically out there, and then we were tendering in all the aid, so making 4 or 5 trips of boat supplies.
And we're looking at that ship right now. What is so, what we have found so amazing this week is the outpouring in such a humanitarian way with aid and with money as well. I know the fire stations were collecting, you were collecting, the county, let's not leave Miami-Dade County's first responders went as well. Chief, when you were collecting this humanitarian aid, how were you able to get it's a logistical nightmare is what I guess I want to say. How did you get this in and out? Where did it go? What is that coordination like?
Well, the coordination actually occurred through city administration as well as the fire department. The fire department is good, aside from putting out fires, the fire department is very good at logistics. And we managed all of the logistics for the receipt of goods. Every fire station was a drop-off point. We palletized, we packaged, and
Palletized.
we shipped the equipment over to, or the donations over to a company called Bahamas, and as well as NCL, and they both assisted us in getting that much needed relief over to the Bahamas.
So this was sort of a public-private partnership too, and I want to hear how different that is from, I mean, the logistics that you and Global Empowerment Mission, not only this time, but have done since the Haiti earthquake relief. How do you do that kind of coordination on a grand scale?
A lot of experience over the years, right? I mean, we were lucky to partner with Flytropic, and they immediately had all the seaplanes going out.
Yeah,
so we were able
let's give a big shout out to
Yeah.
Flytropic. I mean, they were tremendous. I mean, I think I read at one point late this week they had done something like 200 flights over to the Bahamas.
we've been doing 8 to 10 flights a day since.
Wow.
And
since-
how are you
since that
received
storm
there
passed.
when you get there with all of this? You know, I remember last week on this program, we were hearing how the airspace was crowded and dangerous with people trying to bring relief. What kind of logistics did you find challenging there?
Well, we partnered up with a group called Blue Tide Marine. It's mostly former Navy SEAL guys, top level guys.
I
So
guess they know what they're doing.
they sent in a caravan. It was almost like a private, government thing. It was amazing. And so they sent in a caravan with all kinds of ATVs, motorcycles, ribs, tenders, everything. So we had a whole team out there, and then they were going island to island,
Yeah.
assessing everything.
Michael, this was an expensive operation. I know you have been very generous personally and you have donors, but where does this money come from to do this privately?
Donors, relationships over the years. It's been incredible. I've been involved in a lot of disasters. You remember?
Well, I
you
remember
me.
talking to you after you were in
Yeah.
Haiti, after the earthquake. I mean, you
90 Haiti trips since that earthquake, and
Wow.
probably another 100 other things that I've been involved in over the years. So I've seen a lot, and communities always come together. But I think Florida, I've never seen anything like this, and it hits so close to home. Like everybody in Florida has been to the Bahamas. Everybody, has a house there, vacations there. It's incredible.
And watch that storm
That's the-
thinking that was going to be our storm also.
It took the blunt
there,
of
but
it
for the
us.
grace of God,
Right.
it would have been us. Chief Judge, just to explain briefly, normally USAID calls for urban search and rescue teams, but the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County simply said, go over there.
Well, as has been said, we are a South Florida community of boaters. We go over there for lunch. We go over there for the weekend.
You call me next time you go over there for lunch.
When the greatest tragedy to strike the Bahamas has occurred, how could we not go over to help? So the narrative has been waiting for the federal government, but that's not the narrative at all. The narrative is the city of Miami and Miami-Dade County were going over to help. It was just a matter of which mechanism we were going to use in order to get there.
Real quickly, when you went, I think the death toll was 22. Did you know that was not going to be the case with what you saw?
Absolutely. Through our urban search and rescue program, we've responded to probably over 15 major national and international disasters. We knew what to expect, and we knew that the death toll was going to be more than
And
was
tragically, 1,200, 1,300 are still unaccounted for.
But before we go, I just want to, Global Empowerment Mission is still collecting. And
Oh yeah, now we're in a 60,000 square foot warehouse, and we're already on to basically rebuilding. We're amassing
anyone who
large
wants to
construction materials
participate?
from the whole entire country.
Yeah.
And we want to just, we're first going to go into a rebuilding, a repair stage, right? Schools that just lost the roof, give them the materials to get those schools back up and running. You got to change the story soon, right? You got to create a story of hope, and we've interviewed so many children and so many people now, and we've got to get them back in school. Boaters, they need boats. They're asking for boats. They need to fish. They need to get back their economy
And they need
moving.
tourists who had canceled vacations to
Right.
go to the islands that were not affected.
We saw this on Mexico Beach
Yeah.
as well, where tourism was the driver.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's important people know that, there's 700 islands in the Bahamas, only 100 got affected. The other ones are still fine.
Exactly.
Let's
gotta
go for
support.
lunch.
All right. Gentlemen,
Thanks so
thanks,
much
and thanks so much for what you
participation.
did over there. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.